Welcome to the Legally Speaking podcast, powered by Kasoon Car. I'm your host, Rob Hanna. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Guy Stern for the final mini-sode as part of our Starting a Startup mini-series. So welcome back finally, Guy.
Great to be here. I'm going to miss these weekly sessions.
Me too. It's been a great education. I've loved hearing about your journey, particularly with Legal Connection. And today, as part of our final mini-sode, we're talking about getting funded. I think, as to quote yourself, if a great idea is a rocket, venture capital is the fuel, which I absolutely love. So when is the right time to start raising?
It obviously depends who you ask. If you ask investors, they will say, don't start raising until you've got a great product in the market, working and making money. Don't bother us until then. There is some truth to that, obviously. But I do think that the sooner you put together a pitch deck and start showing to the investors, the better. And the reason I say that is because when you create that first pitch deck, and I created the first one back in 2017 on nothing but an idea. I had a very simple, stupid idea, which was an Uber for law. I had done very little research. I knew nothing about startups, but I put together a pitch deck because Startup Bootcamp had a competition, a startup competition. And I landed up getting in the top 40 and then I landed up getting in the top 20. And before you know it, I was pitching this product to big investors who were poking lots of holes in it and also giving me lots of great advice. So start raising as soon as you think that you might have a good business idea. You're not going to get money straight away, but it's a good way of getting good feedback from people who do invest in your industry. And the feedback you're always going to get at first is, this is not going to work. This has been done before. You're wasting your time. Go back to your day job. You'll have lots of people telling you that you're going to fail and that you shouldn't even try, including investors, and they'll give you lots of reasons. And it's up to you to persevere, to take it on the chin, to also listen to the advice. And if someone says there's 5 other products that do the same thing as yours, just sort of reshuffle your thoughts and say, well, how could I be different? And so on. So I hope that answers the question.
Very much so. And a large part of it is, like you say, is around mindset and making sure you stay positive and take on board feedback and don't let that be the end of the journey. So you've had a very successful journey. How did you manage to get Antler VC to fund you at pre-seed?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was sitting in South Africa when the first users started using my product. Well, she kind of broke it quite quickly. So she used it and then it broke. And then I fixed a bug and then she used it again and it broke. And then I had this sort of moment where I could just see it sort of catching on. She was inviting a friend who was inviting her friend. And I thought, this is the time to apply for an accelerator program with one of these VC accelerators. I also thought, I've been to London before. Legal Geek Conference happens in London. I think there's a bit of a legal tech base over there. Why don't I Google London accelerator programs? And I found an A to Z of London accelerator programs. Believe it or not, the first one I clicked was Antler because it started with an A. I applied for them and I got in. I also applied for B for Benthel Green Ventures. I didn't get into that one, but it wasn't that I pinpointed them or specifically wanted Antler, but it's been an amazing journey. And I'm really lucky that I applied and that I got in. I think 2,000 people apply every year and they pick a handful.
Congratulations. That's a really good story. In terms of going to the next level then, why are you going with Crowdcube for your seed round?
The honest answer is we didn't manage to raise our seed round via VCs. So, Antler are pre-seed, which means they give you enough money to sort of build the first version of your product. And they then have a big demo day. Our demo day happened in London in February. We got lots of business cards of seed stage venture capital firms, lots of coffees that we had in February and sort of going into March. And then what happened in March. All those coffee meetings dried up. A lot of those venture capital firms started to change their outlook a little bit. Maybe they just wanted to support their portfolio companies and so on. And so Stefan and myself looked at what our other options were. And we visited Crowdcube. We just thought, this is a way that we can get in front of lots of investors without having to meet them for coffee. They can watch a video of me explaining the product. If they like what they see, they can get in touch. And, through the network, they can get those introductions. One invites the next. And it's working really nicely. We've been live in the private launch for 2 weeks. I've shared it many times on my LinkedIn and someone will see it, like it, they'll invest, they'll then either write a comment or they'll post it on their own LinkedIn timeline. Someone else will see it, watch the video and so on. And it's kind of like and like magic almost. You see one person invite the next person. And the other night, for example, someone I know shared it, and 10 minutes later, we had someone invest £2,000. They'd only just watched our video. They'd never met me, never had a conversation with me. But all those 2,000s and all those 1,000s help us get closer to our goal, which is set at 120,000. And if we get that goal, then the seed round goes through, basically. That's how Crowdcube works.
Awesome. And so as we look to wrap up this fascinating series, what can people do if they want to invest in this?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is where I get to say my little sales spiel. If you want to invest in Legal Connection, we are going live on the Crowdcube platform shortly. We are already in private launch, meaning if you either click on my name, Guy Stern, or on my startup name, Legal Connection, through LinkedIn, you'll see that I've already posted the link. Go to it. You can watch the 4-minute video. If you like what you see, you can go there and click a button and you can register your interest in investing. We're actually trying to get about 100 people that have registered their interest, and we're trying to sort of show that we've got about 75% invested already on the day that we launch. So if anyone is interested in legal tech, if anyone wants to invest in a legal tech company that's going places, please do click on that link and go through to Crowdcube and register your investment. Or you can also contact me and I can take you through the demo. I must also add, and I think you must also add for legal reasons, your capital is at risk. This is an investment in a company. You can lose your money and so on. All of those warnings will be on the Crowdcube website as well. And also, please reach out if you'd like to use Legal Connection for your law firm, for yourself, for your legal network, for your panel, in-house, etc., etc. And Robert, thank you so much for having me on the series. It's been so much fun.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for sharing your journey and giving some real strategic insights into how starting a startup could be made possible, even more so in the tricky space of the legal sector. So thoroughly enjoyed it. Wishing you best of luck with Legal Connection, Guy, and no doubt we'll speak again in the future. But for now, over and out.
Looking forward to it, mate. And I'm looking forward to having you on my podcast one day. I think I'm inspired. I also want to do a podcast.
Do it. Like the idea, just do it.
I probably just like the sound of my voice.
Good stuff. Cheers, guys.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Thank you, and thanks, Hannah and team. And shout if you need me.